Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and
Ever since his Nolan Wells body was found, his family has been left with more questions than answers as the media grows quiet on investigations, while trying to make it seem like these white boys are being blamed for the passing of Nolan, solely based on skin color. But people weren't playing when they said Nolan's case wasn't going to fade away without justice. And this recent audio leak proves his friends knew exactly what happened to him. In fact, they may have been protecting the real culprit the entire time. Right now, there are still a lot of moving parts in Nolan Wells' death, but with this new audio that was leaked, the puzzle starts to make more sense as time passes. The story starts on the 4th of July in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. 18-year-old Nolan Xavier decided to go out with some friends and joined a group on a trip to Horn Island. The island is just 10 miles off the Mississippi coast and is very popular for parties and trips, so nothing was meant to go wrong. Pictures show that the boat arrived at Horn Island around 11:14 a.m., and Nolan was seen in his blue swim trunks and sunglasses, smiling with the group, and there were multiple boats and people present on the island. For the first few hours of the day, it seemed like a normal trip, but around 3 p.m. that day, something weird happened. Nolan was seen near the northwest end of the island, and that was the last time anyone really saw him. Around 4:30 p.m., the boat Nolan had been on left the island without him and returned home. The story his friends gave was that Nolan chose to remain on the island with an unknown female and would return later on another boat. However, the girl he was reportedly with was the first to give her account to the police and said that she had left the island before he did, and Nolan had every intention of returning home with his friends. When Nolan hadn't called or returned home by midnight, his mom contacted the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and officially reported him missing. The search officially began on July 5th, and the United States Coast Guard sent helicopters to search the area. At around 8:45 a.m. on July 6th, a Park Service ranger discovered a body in the water near the northwestern end of Horn Island, and it was identified as Nolan's by his parents, and later on by forensic tests. During the search, his parents also tried to track his phone, only to discover that his phone was in his friend's house, and after they picked it up along with his car keys, they realized that the phone had been wiped clean. There were no photos or videos from that day, and this was very unlike their son. Now, there are a few reasons why this story went massively viral, and first has to be the racial dynamic. A picture of the group showed that Nolan was the only black friend in the group. Another thing that sparked outrage was the way his friends behaved throughout all of this. Rather than showing concern or even sadness that their friend, a boy they played football with and knew for years, was missing and later found dead, they deactivated their socials and lawyered up almost immediately. Ashley Cole, the stepmom of Warren, one of the kids with Nolan that day, also shared her family's version of what happened. According to Ashley, their accounts had to be deactivated for safety reasons. And the reason why the boys left the island by 4:30 p.m. was because the boat was taking on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made the decision to stay on the island and return to the mainland later with another group of friends. Keep in mind, Ashley Cole was not on the island, and her statement was made based on what her son told her. While none of this directly means that the boys are lying or involved in anything criminal, it is definitely suspicious. And for them to go radio silence, lawyer up, put up a defense while claiming that they don't know what happened, says a lot about the character of the people who left him behind. Nolan's self-proclaimed best friend Warren Hudson also did an interview to essentially prove that everyone was wrong about this case. Warren said that the last time he saw Nolan, he was fine and was with a girl called Katie. They were shouting at him to come to the boat since water was getting in and they needed to leave immediately. He confirmed that Nolan wanted to stay on the island with Katie and told them to go and he would get back another way. But Katie told the friends and Nolan's parents that the last time she saw him was when his friends were calling him over, and he told her that he was riding home with his friends.
I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and Nolan was making me laugh. I was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues, and no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm gonna ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you gotta come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island.
And the audio just confirmed that Nolan went on that boat. The audio was an emergency call that Wyatt, another friend, made to the sea tow operators to help them with their boat. And even before the operator picks up, you already start to hear something grim going on.
Sea tow assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
They didn't realize that the call was already being recorded, even before the operator picked up. So they were talking freely, and you can hear them mentioning that someone had died. The operator picks up, and everything changes. Wyatt talks to her, saying that they need help with their boat, and even in the background, you can still hear people panicking. And the operator could hear people too, because at one point, she asks very direct questions if there are living people on the boat. And the answers Wyatt gave her were confusing.
There are 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you.
We could hear someone in the background saying, "Check his chest." And the operator must have heard it too, since she asked if they needed the United States Coast Guard, and Wyatt immediately said no. And the next part of the audio gets even crazy because the operator connects to the captain of the sea tow and tells him to go over and help the kids, only to hear that Wyatt's grandfather Jerry had already called the captain to tell him that they don't need help.
Fee for service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking, and he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat, and
Is it
he
Jerry?
said that Jerry, he said,
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So I'm guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah, they're in a panic. He's saying the bilge is not keeping up. I asked for Coast Guard. He said no, but he's just really upset on the back end. And, I get it. It's a kid. He just doesn't understand.
Oh, okay. Do you still have him on the line?
Yes, I still have him on the line.
So it looks like they may have been trying to establish an alibi, because Wyatt must have put a call to his grandpa first, who called the captain, while he reached out to the operator. Can anyone hear this call and really not believe that they are being suspicious and confusing? Also, this call happened at 4 p.m., and the boat left the island around 4:30 p.m. And for a boat that was reportedly sinking and needed help, they didn't go home immediately. The GPS report shows that the boat made a few trips to Fort Bayou before returning home, and it showed that Bart, another person whose name came up in the audio, lived about a mile away from Fort Bayou. So them making trips there had something to do with Bart. Now, Bart's name came up in passing during Warren's interview, and no one thought much of it, until they mentioned his name in the audio. After his name came up, Bart Edmiston claimed that Nolan was a friend of his too, and he has nothing to do with his death since he was in Wyoming and hasn't been in Mississippi for over a year. But reports show that was a lie. The MDMR Marine Patrol report showed that 2 boats were investigated, and one of them belonged to Bart Edmiston. Pictures from social media also showed that he was in Mississippi during the same time. So, why did Bart lie and say that he hasn't been in Mississippi for over a year? Now, a couple of people have tried to debunk the audio, claiming that it was AI generated and manipulated to suit the narrative that the Friends had something to do with Nolan's death. But audio aside, the Friends' actions have been a cause for concern and very contradictory. While Warren Hudson claimed that Nolan was fine when they saw him, another friend said he was inebriated because they'd been drinking alcohol. It's also interesting that the Mississippi District Attorney said that they won't release Nolan's autopsy reports or more information about his case because they want to protect the integrity of the case.
In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information a prosecutor can release during an investigation. Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation and the grand jury proceeding.
And all of a sudden, people close to investigators are hearing from the source that Nolan Wells was seen around 6 p.m. on the island by 2 people, and that he was extremely intoxicated. Now, where is all of this coming from? And if it's true, where is the toxicology report? Also, where are the pictures or videos from the witnesses if they did see him? This completely contradicts what we heard on that audio tape and the Mississippi DA's claim about protecting the integrity of the case. Nolan's parents were worried that this case might be ruled as accidental drowning, and right now, we are seeing it play out exactly as they feared. Whether they want to admit it or not, that audio is evidence that something went down. Nolan was on that boat, and something happened to him between 4 p.m. and 4:30 when the boat eventually left the island. From the independent autopsy that was done, foul play cannot be fully ruled out, and Nolan's family are also gearing up to make sure he gets justice. His mom recently filed legal claims to step in as the sole heir to his estate, and his estate will most likely consist entirely of the damages accruing to him from the tragic circumstances of his case. I don't think they would have done this if they didn't believe that there was a strong case here and a high probability of winning. So what we can really do right now is continue to support and dig for more clues. And people have really been rallying around this, saying, the craziest for me was when they tell the call operator and she asks them if they need the US Coast Guard and they say no. Like, what the F? Don't need help when the boat is sinking? So these friends absolutely tried to cover up Nolan Wells' death. Now that the full emergency call has been released, there is irrefutable proof. I hope every single one of them is held accountable, and whoever else helped cover this up, regardless of whether it was an accident or not. Something nefarious happened out there, and no one is saying anything. This reminds me so much of the Gabby Petito case, where Brian Laundrie came back without her, and they later found her thanks to social media sleuths. Something smells a little off with this. So do you guys think that the audio is strong proof, or was it released to distract us from what really happened? Sound off in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies!